Welcome to another installment of the Cool Kids Table podcast. You can find all the episodes on the coolkidstablepodcast.com, Twitter, the Cool Kids Pod, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube is the Cool Kids Table podcast. My guests, I know with my list it sounds like I'm saying guests all the time, but it's multiple today. I am joined by the two co-hosts of the podcast, Amigas y Latinas. They're pretty dope. Got to chat with them a little bit. I already can tell it's going to be a good one. I like them already. Their names are Marce, Ramos, and Rosslyn. I don't want to give a last name, which I respect. I like that. Make sure to check them out. They do a lot of things, but we'll get into it in the actual episode itself. But start off with their podcast, Amigas y Latinas. Welcome, ladies. Thank you for joining me.
Yay. We're very, very happy, to be here. Thanks for the invite. We're super excited.
You're welcome. That's Marce. Rosslyn, say hello so they could distinguish the voices.
Hello.
Sexy and seductive. I like it. Okay.
Hey, no, thank you so much for inviting us.
Thank you guys for joining me. Saludcita.
Salud.
Mm-hmm.
Cheers.
Crunch. Marce already took a shot, so.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I plan on doing whiskey, but that got taken care of last week.
Yeah, I'm doing Jaeger.
Oh, what the?
Oh my God.
Go big or go home, you know?
Hey, that's right. That's right. I like that. What the hell? Fuck it. Jaeger bombs.
Exactly.
Jaeger bombs or just Jaeger like that, like straight up?
Well, I'm doing Jaeger bombs, except that it's not explosive.
Okay.
It's the shot followed by the Red Bull. So.
Okay. I respect that. How do you guys get into podcasting? How do you guys like it? I mean, we could go everywhere. How do you guys? I mean, I know you guys work together. Rosslyn was telling me in the warm-ups, but how did you guys go about podcasting? I mean, I encourage everybody to have a podcast. I tell everybody's like, why do you tell everybody to have a podcast? That's not good. People are going to listen to yours. I'm like, dude, my show sucks and people like it. The people that know what they're talking about could have a show. It's better. It's like a blog. It's like a journal. It's like a diary. It's just audio, which is like how I consume most of my media is audio.
Yeah. So, for everyone that is listening, hola, mi nombre es Marce. And so basically both me and Rosslyn, this is like the backstory. We're both very creative individuals. And we've both had ideas throughout our, the years of friendship that we've had of what can we do that we can join forces on that will showcase our creativity, our imagination, and all of that. And we've done quite a few stuff, but just a few. Actually, when quarantine started, we were texting, and I was like, you know what? Why don't we do a podcast? And she's like, wait, are you serious? And I was like, yeah, let's do it. And she's like, okay, I'm down. And then we started thinking about the name, and she's like, we gave a lot of ideas, but then she's like, what do you think about this? I was like, boom, Amigas y Latinas. I mean, it can't get any more catchy.
Yeah, it goes like it rings.
Drop the mic.
Yeah. And it's crazy because people have listened to my shit just because of the name. That like it caught my eye, so like it gets suggested or whatever, like on different apps, different platforms. I'm like, because of the name. I was like, I personally tried so many different names and then everything was taken.
Oh.
So then that's like, I was like, okay, well, I like this and I like the thought process behind it, like the cool kids table, like cool people.
I like it.
Yeah, I think it's very...
Yeah. But I mean, it was kind of like, not by mistake, but just kind of like, let me see if this works. And all the ones that I wanted for it were gone. So I was like, all right, well, I'm not too mad at this one. And it ended up like, I'm like, I really, really like it now.
Yeah, no, it's a good name. Yeah, when I was searching it, I did search. And then there wasn't that many Latinas or Amigas or combined. So I was like, hey, we're two friends, two best friends. And we're Hispanic, Latinas. So let's just do it.
Yeah,
it was available.
Yeah, it worked out. And now I feel like that's our niche, I guess, Amigas y Latinas. And slowly but surely, we've been kind of brainstorming on what exactly our podcast is about, our audience and everything. So it's been super cool. We also encourage people to start their own podcast. I mean, if you want your voice heard, just do it. And me and Rosslyn, we went for it, and here we are.
I'm glad
On
it's
your
working out for you
podcast.
guys. Yeah. I'm glad you guys are on here. I enjoyed that episode. I can't remember her name. It was a while ago. I listened to it at the time. The social media influencer.
Oh, Isela.
Yeah. I was like, okay, I like it because that's what on here. I like what they're doing. I could see, and I tell everybody, like, you're just getting every podcaster. I'm like, no, I'm getting podcasters that I listen to. Like I just had somebody on a few weeks ago. I was like, her show is a one-woman show, which is, to me, is daunting because mine, even though it's just quote unquote me, it's about the guest. It's not about me. Like, yeah, I'll share little snippets of my story, but she's just throwing herself out there. I'm like, dude, that shit is wild. To me, at least, like, even though I say a lot, I'm like, can't put my whole life on blast. And so I give kudos to those that deserve the kudos. And I feel like you guys have a good niche and like a good growth opportunity.
Yeah, I think like when you start a podcast, you really don't have an idea or you're not really sure about your niche. It kind of like evolves into that.
Yeah.
And that's what happened with us. At first we kind of just wanted it to be just two friends, just, talking about real life stuff, real life issues. But then, later on it started evolving as we started having guests. And we just want a platform where Hispanics, Latinos can get information, because there's not that many resources out there for us, so we kind of wanted a platform to have that.
Beautiful. And that's how it starts, because originally, like, everybody told me, I'm sure it's mostly girls that listen to your show. I'm like, why? They're like, well, majority of podcast listeners are girls. And then like I told you, I do like little Q&As. I had on my website like a little survey to, like, how did you find me, what's your age, what income bracket, you kind of like narrow down the demographic. Once I felt like comfortable with, okay, I got this many listeners, I could, I can't ask 5 people like, hey, like, oh, I went to high school with you. Like, I know you. So that kind of, I found my like, not my niche, because it's like 25 to 35.
Your audience, basically.
Lower middle, upper, lower class. Like, they make comfortable living, but they're trying to buy a house, but they're not there. It's like, okay, people like me then. Like, it's just like, okay, cool. I just got to be myself then, because you'll get tons of critics. You'll get tons of people trying to give you advice on, you should do this, you should do that. I'm like, you got to take it, right? Take it. Okay, what can I do? I want people to listen. I want people to enjoy it. But at the same time, you got to be true to yourself. If you come on here playing a character, it's not going to go that well for you, because at one point or the other, like, that character is going to grow old, or the people that enjoy that character is going to grow old. But if you're just yourself, you're growing with the people, growing with the audience. And so
that's very true.
I could bullshit on my personal page. I'm like posting bullshit. And the next thing is like, there's kids in cages, guys. Like, we need to get this, like, take this seriously. And then the next post is like, fuck America, the fucking Chivas, so it's like balance, I say.
Right.
And that's where, like, that's me. If I was over here trying to pretend to be like a social activist, people would see right through it. But they know that I'm aware of the issues and like try to bring attention to it, as well as like being the dumbass that just kind of makes it relatable.
Yeah, and I think it's really important just to be yourself. I think people can see through the bullshit, and people like other people who are authentic. And like I told you, that's why I knew, like, when we started this, or when I got the idea in my head, I knew there was no other person that I was going to do it with and be successful than Rosslyn, just because our personalities, we click. I love you. Our personalities click and everything. And I feel like we don't have to pretend to be anything that we're not. It just flows. And we've had a really good response. We started this podcast a little bit over a month ago, right? Yeah, we started at the end of April, and it's been going really well. And with the feedback that we get, it's super cool. Okay, those Latinas, are putting other entrepreneurs, social media influencers and stuff, and people can relate to us. So I think that's very important. Being relatable it's key, especially nowadays.
Yeah, there's so much BS out there. It's kind of.
Wait, how did you find us? How did you find our podcast?
TBH, I don't know. I just because I'll scroll like on different things, like on the Explore page.
Are we on Explore?
We made it to the Explore page.
Oh my god!
I think so. And then I saw the little, like, the graphic, and I'm like, damn, to me, that stands out because my graphics suck. You guys will see that. I just fucking go on Canvas and fucking, like right now, I made a 5-minute little, it took me 5 minutes is what I'm saying. Like a little bam, all right, let me put her picture, bam, bam, bam.
It's all the apps, man.
And so I was like looking at, I don't know what I was looking at. And then I saw like the little graphic and I was like, damn. I honestly thought like they're big or something, right? Because it looks so fucking good. And so I was like, well, I wonder who this is. So I clicked it and then I saw and I did the little thing. And then I was like, you know, my little research, I was like, what the hell? This is cool. Like, because I've asked plenty of friends, like, hey, we should branch out and do our own, like a little, like a little fucking dumbass, just kind of look
the
at
homies
me.
crew or something.
Yeah. And they're all kind of like, I don't know, I don't want to put myself up. So to me, it's always cool to see a group of people, 2 or 3. I feel like once you got to 4, it gets a little staticky on the mics. But I was I saw that, and then I saw that you guys had like everything already. I was like, damn, like they came out firing because you guys already had like a Facebook page. You had Usually Start, and they're like on Anchor.com, like find me on Anchor, and you're like, oh, I can't find the iTunes link. Like, oh, I'm only on Anchor. And so when you see people already kind of went through the
Spotify,
all the behind, through all the behind the scenes work. To me, it's like, okay, they did their due diligence. Because when I came out, I did 9 destinations. Now I'm on a 28 or 29, I'm not sure. But you get me? Like, the more places you are, the more people find you. Because I get kept on by my friends. Like, my YouTube videos have 20, 25, but it's only the visual, right? It's only the picture of my logo. And then I'm like, dude, that's 20, 25 listens. That does not even represent 1% of my listenership, you know? But the more places you put yourself, like on Twitter, I share my post on Twitter and it gets like 7 plays, not even 1%, but those are 27 plays that I don't know who the fuck is listening to.
Yeah, the more Twitter. the more exposure you get. So
like the big ones, you know, obviously, you know, the Spotify's, the like what's the one, the big one?
Apple
Podcast, Google Podcast, Stitcher. For me, the biggest one is my website. That's why I tell everybody, like, make sure you own it. I'm sure Spotify's never going to go down. I'm sure YouTube's never going to go down. But that's what they said about MySpace. And say YouTube decides to charge you, the creator, to upload things. Now you're like, oh, well, YouTube's a destination I can't control. If Spotify, it is behind a paywall, right? You still get it free, but if you have ads. On my website, it's free because I pay for it. I pay for the hosting. So most of my listeners come from my website. So I tell everybody, like, put yourself everywhere and anywhere. You know, I was on Podcoin, which was like, they paid you to listen. I was like, dude, this is not going to last at all.
Yeah, what was it called? Podcoin?
Podcoin.
They
paid you the...
Podbean? That's where...
Podbean. I'm on Podbean too. Podchaser, Podcast Addict. I mean...
And kudos to you, you know, because being a one-man show, I mean, I'm sure it can be
overwhelming,
challenging. Yeah, because I feel like two brains are better than one, and that's our situation with me and Rosslyn, where, you know, maybe my forte is in a certain subject and then hers in another. And that's why we complement each other so well. Because when I gave her the idea, hey, let's start a podcast, shit, by that night, ya me tenía all the list of where we were going to be at, everything. She had everything like already brainstormed. And I was like, oh, this is cool. She's like, hey, we're already on Spotify. I already like submitted our application for iTunes. I was like, oh, okay, so this is real. It's happening.
And it is a lot of work, right? So congrats to both of you to be able to put yourself out there, because I've had people like tell me I tried and then like I gave up. Like I thought, nah, it's too much to even like make a podcast. You know, the equipment, I never touched anything with audio. Like Audacity to me was like, what the hell is this? I'm not trying to be a DJ. I don't want to make beats. Like
I think we just researched and just figured it out. We're kind of just used to like researching things, and just, you know, if we don't know something, we kind of just like Google it. But even it comes with our work, you know, because we do work together. And I know you were mentioning like off the air how you're also starting a business, right?
Low key. I mean, it's a pop-up shop
right now.
Yeah. I mean, the same thing, you know, like during quarantine, I was just, I was out of work. I'm a wetback, so I was like not getting any commission from anything. And I was just kind of like, do I have a job to go back to, like, once they open things up? And I was cool. I told the listeners, like, I had money for 6 weeks, like, no sweat, I'm good. But then week 5, I was like, what the fuck? That
Hey
went by
guys, I was just
fast.
kidding.
That was fast. Like it was fun. Don't get me wrong. I'd sleep in. I'd have a little michi for breakfast. I'd have some fucking, podcast all day. Fucking, I'm doing the stupid challenges with my listeners. 2020 challenges. We call it 2020 vision. We're running. We're reading. We're writing. We're starting business. It's beautiful, right? But I was like, damn, dude. When I have all the time in the world, I can dedicate myself to this.
Yep.
But then I was like, the bills are right. Like I'm good for next week and the week after that. What am I gonna do? So I just went out on a limb and I started this little. I'm a great cook. I know that. Everybody tells me, dude, you cook the best. I'm like, I know. I just don't like doing it. But the thing is, I don't like doing it for other people. You get me?
Yeah.
I want to cook it for myself.
Yeah. No. And what I mean is like when it's work, I'm like, I don't want to work. It's like when your hobby becomes your job. And I'm like, this is a job now. And so now that I'm doing this, and I'm kind of like, I live and die by it. If I do good, it's on me. If I do bad, it's on me. It's not like, oh, there's a little pressure, right? Because you work at a restaurant. If it's slow, you still get paid for those 8 hours. But then if it's busy, you only get paid for those 8 hours. So it's kind of like good and bad. But so far, no bullshit. I was doing that today out here in Moreno Valley. I sell Saturday and Sunday in El Monte.
That's what Marce.
Yeah, we were talking about that. She went to Arroyo freshman year.
Yeah.
See, I do my research.
Yeah.
And surprisingly,
I went to school in Europe.
What? Tell me more. Do you speak another language?
Actually, I do. I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. But back to what I was saying was that if you ever have any questions or anything about your business that you're starting, so Marce, we work together at a tax accounting office, and she's in charge of the department for entities. So if you want corporations or anything, like she can help you out. So yeah, that's how we work together. That's what we do.
But yeah,
accounting, everything.
And going back to what you were just saying right now, we actually on our latest, on not the one we released a few days ago, the one prior to that, we actually had someone from Australia. He's a business person, very young too. We had him on and we asked him about his online business. And what he said, I think falls into what you were saying right now, which he said that sometimes the biggest obstacle that people have from being their own boss is the fear of the responsibility that they're going to have. They feel like when you're an employee, you're like, okay, look, if even whether I want to work or not, I'm still going to get paid. But it caps, right? The payment that you're going to get, it's not going to be what your dream pay will be. Like, let's be realistic. So that's what stops people from being their own boss, that they feel, oh shit, if I go out on my own, if I'm lazy one day, I'm not going to make any money. It all depends on me. So that's what stops. So, it goes back to that once you get that fear, once all those obstacles are out of your mind, because everything it goes back to your mentality and your mindset and everything, you're able to do what you want to do. Because we had asked him what his secret sauce was to his success, to his online business, and that's what he told us. So here's dropping some knowledge from one of our guest speakers.
Daniel Burke, by the way, his name is Daniel Burke.
Yeah. What episode number was that? Just so
I'm sorry?
What episode number was
he was episode 8.
Okay.
Episode 8, Daniel Burke.
I'm gonna check that out myself.
Yeah, and he does a lot of he has a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
He basically taught himself how to code. And he used to work for Apple. He quit his job June 26, 2019. And from there he just started his own online teaching how to code from A to Z. So and I think he's in his mid-20s.
Yeah.
So he is super smart. He just did it. He just quit and just did it, and he made 6-figure income in that year. So
that's what's up. Kudos to him.
That is very motivational.
Yeah, and I think both me and Rosslyn right now, we're trying to, I guess, master our mind and be able to grow beyond what we can even imagine. That's why for quarantine, I really love our friendship, because we pump each other up. We're always you can do it, let's do it, come on. And when quarantine started, we kind of agreed that we're not going to let these weeks pass by without us bettering ourselves, so we both nos pusimos las pilas for our YouTube channel. We started our podcast. Rosslyn starting her marketing business. So it's super motivating, to have someone that keeps you accountable for, you know, you said you were gonna do this, like, come on, don't slack and stuff. So yeah.
And that's why they say surround yourself with people you want to be like, because one of the things I've been telling everybody, because like right now I just posted on my personal page. You guys didn't see that. I still tagged you.
I think I need to follow your personal page. So find some Chiva stuff on there.
Where's your personal page?
I try to separate everything, but it always ends up coming back together. Like I was telling Rosslyn, my little side business, I haven't given it really a push for my podcast page, even though I know it would benefit me a lot. I'm like, let me see this. If I could do this on my own, right? Like let this food speak for itself. I do, but I don't want that extra boost. You know, I want to show people that this is doable, you know, because I always tell everybody I'm a piece of shit. If I could do this shit, you guys can too. Yeah. And what I mean is, like, I put, you know, today I worked Friday, Saturday, Sunday by myself, right? Well, not really by myself, with help of friends and family, right? But it's like limited help. But Thursday is all day shopping. That's when I had to cancel on you guys. Friday, I all day prepping, like from dusk to dawn, go to bed at 2 a.m. And then Saturday, wake up at 7 a.m. and work till 8 or 9 and then drive out back here. And then Sunday, do the same thing. And then I did the same thing today out here just to see if I still had a little market, just because I started out here. And then everybody's asking me, like, dude, the food's bomb. How come you're not selling out here? And I'm like, there's way more people out there who will make way more money. Here,
I found your Instagram.
and so I put like podcast by day. I mean, the side business by day, podcast by night. You know, like because people tell me like in the DMs, I always tell them DM me whatever questions, concerns you have, either on the podcast or my personal page. Like, because I have friends that are starting other businesses, and they're like, "How do you get a following so quick?" I'm like, "You gotta engage with them." I reply to every DM. I reply to every little, hey, I like the show. Like, thank you for listening. Even that little thing, because you don't know these people. But to them, that might be like, oh, shit, I'm a piece of shit, right? But I got fucking 1,000 followers, so they think I'm cool. Like, just saying, hey, I appreciate you listening to my show. They're like, oh, shit, this guy replied to me. Like, because I know when I reply to like a fucking, I don't know, ESPN figure, and he likes my comment, I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
You get me? So that feeling goes everywhere.
Yeah, it's like a connection.
Yeah, you're like, oh shit, he took the time to read this. I know he did because he liked it. You're like, oh crap. So to me, it's like, I know how I feel when I get that little simple ass shit as a liking a comment. So why can't I do the same for the next person, you know? Even though I'm like a nobody. And I tell some friends, like, I'm a nobody.
You are Hector Aguilar, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Pero I'm like, to them, I'm a somebody, if that makes sense. Because they don't know me, right? I'm just a regular dude. I just go down the street, have a beer. I'm the same person you will never even
found your other business.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but we're professional. We're professional stalkers.
Yeah, we are. Like, seriously.
Oh, shit. This is happening in real time.
This is happening in real time.
I'm looking at the food that you make in El Monte. Dude, what the hell? You need to hit me up next time you're in El Monte.
Yeah.
Saturday and Sunday.
I'm buying that cocktail and dos tostadas. Oof.
I live in La Puente, so I'm close by.
Stop by. I mean, I'll take care of you guys.
Oh my God, this is so bomb. And seafood is like my favorite food in the whole entire world. Like I could eat it every day. Wow.
I really would want delivery though, because I am lazy to go get it.
I'll tell you in due time. I'm gonna get.
I'm telling you, just pay a primo to like go drop off the stuff.
I mean, I'll tell them to be like.
Seriously, let us know when you're in El Monte for sure. Ooh, I'm looking at your stories. Okay. I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
but no,
you guys
seriously,
gotta follow him for sure. By the way, he hasn't. He said he has not been promoting it on his podcast, so we are promoting it for him.
Yep. Go ahead and follow Fizz. That's Fish.
Oh, all the names are taken. Like I said, everything is taken. So like, let me put a twist on this.
Oh, okay, Fish. You can find it at PHIZH, and that's bomb. Cocktail de camarón, tostadas. Ooh, that looks so bomb.
I sincerely appreciate
Monte
you guys.
and Moreno Valley area.
And he is serving Saturday and Sunday. That beady bomb people.
Ooh, fire.
Damn.
I don't do marketing, but sometimes I come with little catchy things. I was like, all right, I like that. I'm gonna make shirts and everything. Like it's all in the works. I'm surprised how fast it's taken off.
Seriously, dude, you're getting a lot of likes. We're all doing like the research while we're on here.
We're doing a social media audit right now. And,
check out the stories like under my main page. Check out the reviews. Like
I'm looking at that.
we're all up in there, man. We're there. We're there right now.
Hey, that's super awesome.
Hey, that's awesome. You got to keep on doing that.
Yeah.
You know, just do it. Why do you want to? I mean, I know we work for a company, but I'm saying like if you have something and you have something you can create as a business, like why not just work for yourself? There's literally no cap on that. Well, if you work at a restaurant, hey, this is how much we're paying you. That's it.
Yeah.
And by the way, there's no overtime this week or next. Done.
And you know, I feel like the reason why both Rosslyn and I have that mentality, because although we do work a 9 to 5, we love our job. We love our job. Manager, if you're listening, I love my job. No, but seriously, we work with with business owners. So I think although we do work for a company, we just handle business owners. So it's like we understand what it is to have like a business, and for people to, you know, we've seen how clients go from one restaurant to owning like 10 restaurants. So it's super motivating. And we specialize, well, I guess our company specializes with Latino business owners. So it's even more motivating. Like every time we meet someone, especially Rosslyn, she has so many business ideas. We're always like, oh, you can do this, you can do that. Like it's super cool. It's super inspirational. Just seeing, like she said, like just seeing clients that say, for example, they made 100,000 in 2017 and now they're at 1.5 million. It just shows you, like, you know, you have to get over that fear and just go for it, because that's the only way to just do it and just work for yourself, set your own hours, have your own employees. Like, why not? You know what I mean? And if you ever have questions, that we can help you out.
Man, I don't believe in that whole everything happens for a reason, but right now I'm like, damn, this is dope.
Yeah.
This is dope.
Yeah, seriously.
We got you.
And the possibilities are endless. That's what me and Rosslyn always, like, we're always telling each other, like, dude, it's not, oh, I'm good at that, so that's the only thing that I can pursue. No, nowadays with social media and with the internet, like the possibilities are literally endless. Like if you think about the millions of people that exist in this world, and let's just say you love to, I don't know, create sandcastles. I don't know. A few hundred people are going to love how you create those sandcastles and are going to want to learn. So even even if you don't consider what you do, and just in general for the people who are listening, if you don't consider what you do something important, or that other people are not going to like follow or not going to like, trust me, there are millions of people in this world. So if out of those millions, 100 people like what you do, that's more than enough for you to start a business and start inspiring people. So I think that's what keeps us going, you know? And I think that's what made us like do our podcast. And each week I feel we get more and more motivated, because we know that there's going to be people out there who are going to appreciate our content, who is, you know, are going to appreciate the information that we're providing. And that's really motivating.
Yep. Yeah.
And for everybody listening, and that's what everybody says, you know, that's what I ran into. Like I had one of my good friends on, and I just bring him to mind because I keep telling him to do a golf podcast because he's an avid golfer. Wow. And obviously it's not for everybody, right? But how many people do not like golf?
Okay, dude, actually you talk about golf right now. It's been 2 weeks that my husband has been saying, well, he hasn't been saying, he's been going golfing, but he's literally been watching endless YouTubes on how to golf. He has no idea. He's just trying to get information from everywhere. So, you know, people, even let's say, for example, they weren't interested before, maybe now they're like 30, they want to take up golfing. So there's a niche for everybody. You just got to put yourself out there. And that's what I think the number one thing is. Once you put yourself out there and just not care what other people think, that's when it's gonna like just grow, you know, because sometimes it's just keeps you very, I don't know, you can't grow if you care what people think. You're not able to grow.
That's one of the things we talk about.
You become
stuck to what their preconceived notion of, like, you're in this box. And that's what everybody, like, you're in a box, fucking break it open. If a door closes, knock down the whole building.
Damn, I mean, you're only here for like 70, 80 years, hopefully 100.
Exactly.
But why you gotta try to keep yourself in a box?
Yeah. And you are what you believe. You really
I
are, you know, and I've been witness the people who like start out with 100 followers and I'm serious. Like I can give you like names of people that have started out with 100 followers that they're like, thank you for listening or thank you for my subscribers. And like they believe it. And then you're like, oh, well, yeah, she's getting or he's getting like 30 likes. Yeah, that's cool. Next thing you know, because they believed in, they didn't care what anyone says. Now they made it. Now they're making an income out of social media or whatever it is that their, you know, their business is. So I think like that's what keeps us going. Understanding that if we believe it, then it will come true.
Yep.
and it's almost on cue. This episode's actually really good. I'm really enjoying it, but I already got the 10-minute notice from Zoom. I feel like this is too good to just be. We're gonna have to do 2 parts, all right? We'll continue it till we
We
have
haven't
to.
even started
I
talking
know.
about our
I
story.
know. I know. So
Wait.
so let's just continue talking for the next 10 minutes. And
Uh-huh.
then once like it's a minute left, I'll let you guys know like, hey, let's just end it. And then that way I could save it and restart a new one, okay?
Cool. And then I'll go get another shot of Jaeger because, you know, que
Okay.
siga la fiesta.
And one thing I wanted to touch
Jealous.
on was what you guys said right now. I Googled it real quick. I couldn't remember the name of it, but you know, like you said, you could make income, you could do whatever. There's this rule called 1,000 True Fans by Lid Jin. And it's literally like, the thing is, like, most people's goal, right, is like, how much do you want to make? $1 million or this. And it's like, okay, realistically, how much do you want to make off? Because you can make $1 million, but you might need 2 or 3 little hustles to be able to get to $1 million. But if you can make $100,000 in America, you could live a great life. And it's the rule of 1,000 true fans. Because if you have 1,000 true fans, and those people are willing to spend $100 on you, be it merch, you said you have a live show in California one day, and it's $50, and then your merch, your shirt, and a fucking, I don't know,
Mhm.
a water canteen is $50. Like
Your
you made
cóctel de
100.
camarón.
Yeah, you made
Yep.
$100. You need 1,000 people
Yeah.
to support you for $100 in a year, which if you couldn't break it down, is not a lot of money.
Yeah.
You will make 100,000 in a year. Obviously, not all of it's profit, but you're making 100,000. So then that's where it starts to grow. And because people think like, oh, well, this guy has 3 million followers, and I tell people, I have listeners that don't have Instagram, that don't have social media, and I have people on Instagram that follow me that like my pictures, but they don't listen to the show. So what I'm trying to grow is an audience, not trying to grow Instagram following. You get me? But
Yeah.
and the same thing, it goes connected. Like people see, oh, you have 2,000 followers. They're more inclined to like you and follow your page than if you have 100. So it goes hand in hand. But at the same time, like you got to see what you want. Like on my podcast page, I want listenership, right? So how can I get these people to listen? I'm like, okay, let me share this kind of thing. I share a lot of like stuff that I'm interested in, history, nature, space, because that's what I like. So when these
Yeah.
people check out my page, they're gonna be like, oh shit, this guy likes what I like. Or I like space. Let me check out his show. Does he talk about space? Because he's talking about it on here. On my food page, what do I want him to do? Buy my food. So what do I share? Food. Because you get me? Like I'll even shout out other places that are bomb. I'll be like, this is a place I eat at. Why? Because I'm first off, I'm not a hater. And the example I always use is In-N-Out. I love In-N-Out. I don't go to In-N-Out more than 2 times a month. You get me? Like you could have In-N-Out today, and tomorrow you might go eat McDonald's. Go eat at the Habit. Like, dude, people aren't gonna eat at your restaurant every single day of the month. So you can't force them or make it seem like that's all the options there.
Right.
And one thing that I think that kind of the feedback I get is like, why do you put them out there? Like, because it's bomb. I would eat there. And if you trust me on telling you where somewhere else to eat is good, how are you not going to trust me on telling you that my shit's not good? And the thing is, people get stuck in this like podcasts, right? I've told you guys, when I first started promoting podcasts on here, people were like, what if they like their show more and they stop listening to yours? I'm like, good. My show sucks. It's just like to kill time. You're not learning anything. I mean, you are, but it's not like I'm educating you. You might learn from the stories people share, the stuff I share, the mistakes we've made. Oh, look, this is my friend that had this business. He did this. He didn't do that. He should have done this. The recession hit at this time. You know, he bought at the house around. You know, they might learn, but it's not like I'm in here trying to educate them. I'm just trying to kill a few hours for them. And people get stuck on like, why would you give other people the platform. I'm like, because a rising tide lifts all boats, you know. Everybody,
Wait, who's telling you that?
just people. Like, I'll throw it on the stories, right? I'll be like, listening to this episode or whatever, listening to this. They'll be like, why? I'm like, because it's a good show. And some people, that's what I mean. Some people are stuck in this mentality, like it's the pie mentality, the pizza. Like if I get a slice, that means there's less slice for you. And we're like, there's so much pie, dude, like that everybody can make their own pie, and you could cut a piece of your pie and give it to somebody else, and your pie is unaffected because there's 24 hours in a day. I release once every week. So if they listen to my show to the moment it drops, an hour later, 2 hours later, they have nothing to listen to. You get me? So when I could tell them, hey, look, this is what I would listen to, they're like, oh, okay. So this is the stuff that where he gets his opinions from, where he gets his fucking information from. You get me? Yeah. And it's just like I say that like as a podcaster, I mean life. Like when you, not you guys, but when people feel like there's this limited pie, like this limited supply, where like once this runs out, there's no more. I feel like that's where a lot of like doubt, I don't know, like, you know, you see like there's so many shows, why would I make a show? There's so many podcasts, why would I make a podcast? There's so many businesses, there's so many people selling food. And it's always like, dude, just believe in yourself and go for it, because somebody else is going to be seeing the same exact thing as you are and be like, oh, I know they're doing it, but I can do it better. And they're going to go for it. Whereas it's, like you said, mentality.
Yeah, mentality. And, you know, another thing that not everything is for everyone. And a lot of people have that limited, because it's a limited mentality where you think it's only you, and if anyone else does it or finds out about some other one, then you won't have success. It's a limiting mentality. And I've also noticed with social media how people think and are under the impression that because someone has 100,000, oh, they're making money. But with everything, you really have to have that business type mentality. Whether you went to school or not, you truly have to have that mentality, because I've seen people who have over 100,000 followers yet are probably not making one dime from social media. And I've seen other people who have way less, I'm talking probably 5 to 10,000 followers, but already have stream of income coming in from social media. It's all about, like, one, your mentality, and two, how you approach it, whether that's social media, whether that's your business that you're trying to launch. It's all about how you think. It becomes a reality. And I think with social media, that's like a perfect example. I'm telling you, I see some people where I'm like, shoot, if I had that amount of followers, I swear to God, I would be like buying properties left and right.
and that's what it's about. Like on my example, prime example, on the food page, it's not all customers, but it's all people that like been following it because they see it, right? So like, hey man, what times you set up? I could pay somebody to give me a shout out, one of those meme page, one of those big ass pages, and I'm gonna have followers from fucking New York, London. Like, what good does that do me, you know? Because I see some of these food pages, they got 50,000 followers, and yet their picture gets 10 likes. I'm like, they're not following you. They're just
those
following
are fake followers that you bought.
And so I'm like, I'd rather just grow it organically. And at the end of the day, when they see my food, they're like, okay, I can drive down the street and go get it. Oh, you're not here this weekend, but you'll be here next weekend. You know, it's not like people out in Kansas that I'm never going to meet, that are never going to drive out here. And, you know, whereas a podcast, they could listen to it anywhere. So I've never done it, but I would be open to like somebody promote, because people have reached out to me and like, okay, they got 100,000 followers. And I think Marcel left. 100,000 followers. And they tell me,
still here.
Okay. I saw your mic pop up red, and they'll tell me like, oh, $100 for a shout out, and I'm like, oh damn, cool. Let me see.
$100.
Yeah, and I'll be like, what's your engagement rate? They're like, what's that? And I'll be like, how many views do your stories get? I'm like,
you know, you can view that, right? There's a website where you can just put their username, and it'll tell you, it'll analyze their page for free, and it'll tell you what's their engagement rate.
You see, guys, my co-host is brains.
They send me their little screenshot of their thing. I'm like, dude, I get more on my podcast page without doing any of that. So the same amount of, it might be X amount new people seeing it, but how many of those, you know, they follow me because they follow me. They follow you because you post memes and whatever, you know, like funny videos. Like they're going to be like, All right, we gotta end it just because the timer is. Not
Oh
even-
yeah, less than a minute.
That's in a
All right,
minute.
guys, I'm gonna go get a shot, and I will be back.
I'll message you guys when it's time for part 2. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, sounds good. All right, bye.